Human femur. First of all, we have to study its anatomical position and its side determination. For its side determination, we must keep in mind that the femur must be directed medially and the greater trochanter must be directed posteriorly, like this. This is the side determination. It is the femur of right side and it's the anatomical position of femur also. Now we must study its different parts. There are three main parts of femur: the head, the shaft, and the lower part. First of all, the upper part of the femur. It has three parts. It has four parts: the head of femur, the neck of femur, the greater trochanter, and the lesser trochanter, directed posteriorly. First of all, the parts of head. Head has a depression in the front, which is known as the fovea. This is the point where the ligament of hip joint attaches. Second part is the neck. The neck of femur has two borders and two surfaces: the upper or superior border and the inferior border. Its two surfaces are the anterior surface and the posterior surface. Now there comes the greater trochanter. The greater trochanter has one surface, one border and three surfaces: the superior border here, the superior border, the anterior surface, the lateral surface, and the medial surface here. On the inside, the medial surface, directed medially. In the medial surface, there is a trochanteric fossa. This one. Now we must study the lines which are present on the upper part. Here, on the anterior side, the line joining the greater trochanter and the lesser trochanter here is known as the intertrochanteric line. On the posterior part, there the line joining the greater trochanter and the lesser trochanter is known as the intertrochanteric crust. Anteriorly, intertrochanteric line, and posteriorly, the intertrochanteric crust. The intertrochanteric crust has elevation in its middle known as the quadrate tubercle. This one is the quadrate tubercle. Now we must study the shaft of. There is another thing left. The line extending just below the intertrochanteric line towards the posterior border of the shaft is known as the spinal line. This one. The line extending below the intertrochanteric line towards the posterior border of the femur is known as the spinal line.
Linea aspera.
Linea aspera, in other words. But it is not really called linea aspera because linea aspera is something more specific. We must come to it later. Now we must study the shaft of the femur. The shaft of the femur, we must study first from its middle part. From its middle part, the shaft has three surfaces and three borders: the two ill-defined lateral border, the lateral border, the medial border, and the well-defined posterior border. This one is the posterior border. It is also called linea aspera specifically.
ये lesser tubercle से start हो रहा है, lateral trochanter
No, it's not like lesser tubercle. It's something else. We must come to it later. Now about its surfaces. There are three surfaces. The surface between the medial and lateral border is known as the anterior surface, directed in front. The surface between the posterior and lateral border is known as the lateral surface, directed laterally. The surface between the posterior and medial border is known as the medial surface,
anatomical position में रख के
directed medially. Now we must come to it, the upper part of the shaft. In the upper part of the shaft, the linea aspera divides into two lips.
Posterior upper part.
The linea aspera, the upper part of the posterior upper part, the linea aspera divides into two lips: the medial lip and the lateral lip. The medial lip of linea aspera and the lateral lip of linea aspera. There is elevation or thickening known as the gluteal tuberosity in the lateral part of the linea aspera, along the lateral linea aspera. This one, lateral linea aspera. Now we must come to on the upper posterior part. On the upper part, there arise now four surfaces: the anterior surface, the lateral surface, and the medial surface. And between the two lips of the linea aspera, there is another surface known as the posterior surface. In other words, the gluteal tuberosity lies on the lateral side of the posterior surface. Now we must come to the lower part of the shaft. Likewise, there are also two lips. but the lips are named later. We will come to the name of these lips later. First of all, it also has 4 surfaces: anterior, lateral, medial, and posterior surface. This posterior surface changes its name and is now called the popliteal surface. Now we must come to the lower part of the femur. The lower part has 2 condyles. Number 1, the medial condyle and the lateral condyle. These 2 condyles also have 2 epicondyles.
Difference क्या दोनों में?
It lies on the medial surface, it lies on the lateral surface.
That is greater, it is stout.
No, it's not different. We will come to later. There are 2 epicondyles also. The medial epicondyle here, a thickening.
How come we know that this is medial epicondyle? What
Because
is that?
it is the medial
No,
side.
not for the medial. How come we know that this part is epicondyle?
Because from here you can see that these are thickenings outside.
Okay. Achha, the sole of it is epicondyle.
This is a condyle and the thickening of the condyles is epicondyle.
Epicondyle.
There is one more thing which is specifically related to the medial epicondyle. Here it is the adductor tubercle. Here one, adductor tubercle. Here the adductor longus muscle attaches on the inferior part of the adductor hiatus. Now we must come to the lips of the linea aspera. The lateral lip is known as the medial lip is known as the medial supracondylar line, and the lateral is the lateral supracondylar line because it lies above the condyles. And the surface between them is the posterior surface, also called as the popliteal surface. Now we must come to the extreme inferior part of the femur. Here is the intercondylar fossa. And here is the patellar surface where the patella attaches. This is all for femur, folks.